It's officially spring in Kansas and we're in the middle of a blizzard. As you can hear, there's lots of wind noise and things going on. We're going to check out this really sweet Subaru.
Wizard, that's not a Subaru, that's a Saabaru.
A Saabaru is correct. So this is one of those scenarios many car manufacturers have done, is where they go and they take their name and their styling and put it on a pre-existing, completely other brand of car. This is a Saab 9.2. It's actually a Subaru Impreza underneath. We're going to show you today how there was some sloppiness in the shifter and it was solved with Subaru parts to get this situation handled. This car was brought by a friend of the shop, Caleb. He dropped it off to get some issues taken care of with the shifter and do a rough inspection, check it over, make sure everything's looking fine. And we're going to show you those parts here in a minute. But definitely want to do a video today how you can save so much money when you're in this scenario with a car that's badged as a certain brand, but it's actually a completely different brand underneath its skin. Let's go ahead and take a look around this Saabaru. This is the front of the 2006 Saab 9.2X. And it does look very Saabish. You wouldn't really think this is a Subaru by just a quick glance for someone who's not a car person. As we go down the side, it definitely has some European styling. As we get to the back, you can see it starting to look like an Impreza. We can see that Garfield is suction cupped to the back window. Some of the badging's been removed. We do see a VinWiki sticker. Thanks for your support for VinWiki. Ed will appreciate that. And the rest of the car is in pretty good shape. It has a few dents and dings, but really it's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and look under the hood. Here's our Subaru. That's right, Subaru 2.5 liter boxer 4-cylinder water boxer. If I just showed you this view right here, most of you would say, oh, that's a Subaru. And it totally is. Any of these parts that you see on here can be ordered for a 2006 Subaru Impreza. You can see it looks like the timing belt's been done fairly recently. We can see the sticker down there. So most companies we're familiar with have parent companies, just like Google is owned by Alphabet. Subaru is owned by Fuji Heavy Industries. That's the parent company that owns the Subaru name. Let's take a look at this plate here. Fuji Heavy Industries. Let's take a look at the emission sticker. Produced for Saab by Fuji Heavy Industries, Limited, Japan. So there's a couple of brands, Saab and Volvo, that are Swedish brands, but we see Japan. There's actually not much of anything Swedish about this vehicle. So again, everything under here that needs repairs, order them for a Subaru. Let me get this hood closed and I'll show you a really cool sticker that's on the windshield. So here we have bringing together two car emblems into one. It says Saabaru and it has the Saab emblem and the Subaru stars there, the emblem. So Saab is not owned by Fuji Heavy Industries. Saab went to Subaru and said, let's collaborate, let's make this car together. I'll put Saab on the front, but underneath we know it'll be a Subaru. It's not the same as like Ford, Lincoln, Mercury's. Those are all really still the same company. We're dealing with a Swedish company using a Japanese company, completely different companies making one vehicle. It's very similar to Hoovy. It's very similar to Hoovy's Garage, where Hoovy had just purchased a Saab, I think it was a 9.7, and it looks like a Saab SUV, but it's actually just a GM Trailblazer with an LS2 in it. So there's a lot of that going on. Mrs. Wizard used to have a Land Rover Discovery Sport, but it used a ton of Ford parts. Actually, we had a water pump go bad one time. We used a Ford Escape 2.0 EcoBoost water pump to replace the bad leaking water pump, and it worked perfectly, bolted right up, and it was substantially cheaper. So it really pays to do research when you buy these cars. Yours may be one of those collaborations where you can save a lot of money by buying the inferior brands as far as value parts. Mrs. Wizard, take us through a tour of the interior. There's a lot of parts apart in this thing.
Okay, welcome. This thing has 173,525 miles, and from what I have learned, Caleb has put on a lot of miles. Standard high school kid, cruising the road. So Very, very simple, very minimalistic gauge cluster up there. Nothing extra added. The only thing that we don't see are the clock and the lights, and hopefully there aren't any lights on this car going on. Dash is in really good shape. Nothing broken, nothing tore. That's nice. Got a spot for his phone. That is, wow, that is a very simple radio. Not much going on. Got a little bit of change back there and some lip balm, but our HVAC controls are probably even more complicated than that radio was. As we move down, yikes, yeah, because we've had to do some work with this shifter, figuring out why there was so much play in there, yeah, we had to take apart several items. So you can definitely see back there, look how much stuff they just crammed back there. Empty space. Let's fill it with something to make it really hard to get to when you need to do work on that. Yeah. On our passenger seat, you'll see that he does have a collection of armbands to go with his keys. Well, you see there's our ashtray, there's the boot shifter for our gear selector, and the actual housing that goes right above that. So, lots of parts there that will get put back into place for Caleb before he gets this back. But if we look at that door card, I like how it's got the real dark charcoal with the like smoke gray. Looks really good, nice and clean. Seats in the back are also in very good condition. Don't see anything going on back there. And obviously they do lay down, so you could make this a very large area with this hatchback as well. And of course, there's Garfield. Headliner, good shape, nothing going on. As we get back to our steering wheel, it is very minimalistic, just like that gauge cluster in the background. Nothing else going on, no buttons, nothing crazy there. Do have the Saab logo in the center. Notice it says Saab, not Sabaru, which would be a really fun emblem if they could put that there, but 'tis not. Enough of this interior talk. Let's get this up in the air.
So like I've been telling you guys from the beginning of this video, this thing is basically a Subaru Impreza. Let's take a look. So for many of you that have a Subaru WRX or Impreza, or this is the 2.5 liter, this will look very familiar to you. Here's our Boxer 4-cylinder 2.5 liter engine. And again, I apologize for the noise, it's very windy today. Here's our transaxle with going to the left and right. Then we have a drive shaft going to the rear. Before we go too much further back, let's check our wheels. Our brakes have about 30% remaining, but they're still good. Sway bar link is good. CV boot is good on both sides. Those are good. Our steering rack is not leaking, which is really good. 30% remaining on the brakes. Sway bar link is fine. And that CV boot is looking very nice. There's a lot of parts on this Saab that you can order them for a Subaru WRX or Impreza or whatever, and they'll bolt right on. In fact, like I mentioned, we have some sloppiness in the shifter, and the reason why it's here, let me show you where these parts are located. So the shifter on this has multiple different rods and bushings and things going on, which Caleb also provided some of the bushings, but not all of them. What we see here is this black polyurethane bushing. This goes to the rear section of the shift rod. But then there's this rod that comes down. That's kind of a stabilizing rod, but there's a third one right here. And it's missing the yoke off of it. I show you where we found floppiness there and what the new part looks like. Here's that old block that I showed you a minute ago. It's just a block, polyurethane block, but what was there before was this metal block with a rubber bushing, and you can see it's wallowed out really bad, and there was a lot of play right here. Also, this bushing was wallowed out in the middle. It had tons of play, which has been replaced as well. And those are really the only parts that was provided when the car showed up. We got the job done and still found that it took care of about 30% of the sloppiness in the shifter, but there was a whole lot more that was still loose. And this is the little arm that actually connects to the transmission, actually shifter, and you can see here there's a lot of play there. Both of these bushings are completely shot. So even with the upgrades we had done, which is about half the job, there was still a lot of slop on the shifter. What's going to finally fix the final amount of play is this brand new one. Guess what, guys? For a Subaru Impreza. It's got polyurethane, nice strong bushings. All that play will be gone, and the shifter will have Nice, precise feel again. Let's continue on with our inspection on the rest of the car. Being this is all-wheel drive, it'll also have a rear drive shaft, which is in good shape. So remember, we called this jokingly the Saabaru, as the sticker said on the windshield. It's a Saab. Anyone else would see the front end or the back end of the car and say, well, it's a Saab. But take a look at this exhaust logo. Subaru. Pretty much everything on here is Subaru parts. And that's where you can really save some money. You don't have to go to a Saab dealer and get Saab parts. There's a lot of makes and models of cars that are this way, that are rebadged versions of a certain car. And if you're wise to that fact, you can order parts for the cheaper model, the Subaru Impreza, as in case in this vehicle, and save a ton of money. And Caleb had mentioned that there was an exhaust issue where he was driving. The exhaust actually fell apart. I think it was just rusted, and I think Bill took it in and got it welded up. This is the portion here that was repaired. Nice stainless steel piece of pipe. Exhaust is fixed. And we can see our drive shaft comes right through this bracket here, and there's a long snout. This is a really long snout on this differential. I don't know, it's probably a foot and a half. And here's our rear CV axles. Everything looks good with those boots. The sway bar links, that one has a little play in them. We'll let them know about it. That'll cause some clunking when they're going down the road. The brakes, about 30% remaining on those as well. One thing to remember, if you have a car, you go over undulations or small bumps in the road and it's constant, it's very likely your sway bar bushings like this, making that noise. Brakes are 30%. Our charcoal canister is intact, not damaged or anything wrong with that. Other than just surface rust and an exhaust repair, everything else on this vehicle is actually in very good condition. So I've showed you what we're going to do to solve the loose, sloppy shifter. Let's get this thing on the ground. So they were hoping with the shifter bushing kit they'd ordered that would solve all their problems. It solved a little less than half of them. It was improved, but we knew we could do a lot better. In ordering the Subaru Impreza parts, we were able to order that yoke that has multiple little bushings going on. It'll bolt right into this, and then the rest of the slop in the shifter will be taken care of, completely tightened up, and it'll be very precise. Thinking of some other collaborations out there, like the Suzuki Equator. It's a pickup truck that's kind of small. You think it's completely different from anything else, is actually just a Nissan Frontier. Suzuki in the US is not selling cars here anymore, so you can't go to a Suzuki dealer to get parts, and some parts you would think be hard to find. You just order them as if it's a Nissan Frontier, and they bolt right on. Some of the older cars I remember doing this kinds of collaboration thing was the Dodge Raider, which is a small SUV, was actually a Mitsubishi Montero. There was kind of some collaboration going on there. Goodness, Mrs. Wizard, I think we're going to get blown away.
Oh no, Toto, I hope we don't.
It's very, very windy today, like 60-mile-an-hour gusts. But you have to be careful because it can go the other way as well. It can be underneath. The parts are actually a very expensive brand, but the skin of the car is a less expensive brand, just like the Chrysler Crossfire. You think it's a Chrysler. You go to the Chrysler dealer and get all your parts, but the truth is underneath it's a Mercedes-Benz SLK. So when you go to order parts, and I've been through this with many, many customers, they bring us a Chrysler and the bill's high, like Mercedes-Benz high. And they're like, well, it's just a Chrysler. It's like, no, it's not. We actually showed them the parts we took off their car, and it has Mercedes-Benz emblems and part numbers on it. And they're like, I wish I would have known this. There's also another instance of this with the Lincoln LS. They think it's an American car, cheap American Lincoln LS. They'll have American parts, they'll be cheap, and you will be severely, severely disappointed when you go to get it worked on. It's basically a Jaguar underneath, an S-Type. So all the parts, the engine, suspension are Jaguar parts. We actually had a customer who was a preacher who purchased a Lincoln LS thinking it's a good American car, you know, and then brought it in for some repairs. And it was 3 times what he thought it would be, or what he thought it should be. And we explained to him there's actually a Jaguar underneath, and showed him the Jaguar parts and things. And he said, okay, Put it back together. I'm going to sell this thing. I'm dumping it. And after that, he ended up with a Buick LeSabre with the 3800. Very good move, except for it served him very well until it got into a wreck, and it was undrivable after that. That's the only reason why it's still not on the road anymore. So definitely want to do a video for you guys to show you that there are a ton of cars out there in the market that have the skin that show it's one brand, but underneath is actually a completely different brand. It'll completely throw you off balance. You'll be like, I wish I would have known this before I bought this car. So definitely do your research with that. And thanks, Caleb, for letting us work on your really sweet Subaru. We'll get your shifter fixed up and get it back to you. You're going to really enjoy the nice, precise shifting. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to work on this Subaru, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All the tools used in the shop is listed for sale there, and if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because we have many more videos to come, especially that 355 back there. Thanks for watching.